Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, coming to you live this Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Central, where you can find me most Thursdays. I'm happy to have you. Thank you if you're watching the live, and also if you are watching the replay, thank you so much. So, we're going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to let you check in and say hello. Would love to know where you're watching from. And we are going to make a fun fold card, super simple, but it's with just a set and bundle that's dear to my heart, the One Horse Open Sleigh. It's the Horse and Sleigh bundle, the One Horse Open Sleigh suite, and it's now available in the online store in the online exclusive. So it's a lot of fun. So if you're here, if you want to say hello and so I can check my sound and make sure that everything's okay. So while I'm waiting and letting people find the video, I want to tell you that next week there won't be a live video because Jackie and I, my husband and I, are going to Las Vegas to the Stampin' Up! Leadership Conference, and we are so excited. We get to see all our Stampin' Up! Friends and super excited about that, to gather and learn together. So no live next Thursday. Now, Saturday morning, I'll have my Saturday morning share on YouTube at 10 a.m. Central. And it's not going to be a live video or even a premiere where you can chat. It's just going to be scheduled to go live at 10 a.m. Central. It's another 3D project using the One Horse Open Sleigh paper and the Horse and Sleigh bundle. And I hope you'll watch it and be sure and tune in for that. And of course, that will remain. You can watch it at any time, such as these live videos. So tomorrow, I will have the details for the project that you're going to see tonight and the pictures posted over on inkandinspirations.com. Okay? So welcome, everyone. Hello. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Lou. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to show you the bundle here. There we go. Okay, so it's this stamp set, okay, which I love this. And if you haven't read my bucket list, One Horse Open Sleigh post on my blog or over on Facebook, you need to read that to see why this is so special to me. So it has lots of dies here that you can use to cut out the images, and also some that are just standalones, okay, to accent the sleigh, these two. And then to, this is like a little barren tree, okay? So I'll have a picture, a card on my blog on Monday with that. So let me get this off of here. Okay, so I put my host code up on the screen. If you don't have a relationship with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to serve you. And if you place an order using that host code, that just really helps me out, and I'd love to send you a little gift. Okay? All right. So now while we're getting to the paper, oh my goodness, gorgeous 6x6 stack. So this is the piece we're using tonight, but I just wanted to give you a peek at it, okay? So it's got some very generic images on the back, just texture looking, that you can use on any project. Okay. And then here, there are plenty of snow scenes that are just begging for the horse and sleigh to be on there. There's some trees. Here is an aerial view. Look at that with the footprints in the snow. Here's another. It looks almost like just a field of snow. And it almost, I think we need some ice skaters on this one, and a wood grain. And I want to do a card with the sleigh going up the hill. And on the back of that is a Misty Moonlight print. Here's another scene that we can use a sleigh. And just a crumb cake print. Look at that cute little fox. And then a dark wood grain. And then here is a print. Love this with that little cottage, okay? And then this one. Another snow scene. And look at that precious little deer. And a mossy meadow on the back, and another real red. It's just like a splotched little little splatters on that scene or that print. I love this one. I posted a card today on Facebook and asked a question, so go see that. Hey, Patty. Yes, me too. I love it. So these two remind me of Windberg paintings, and we have one of these paintings in our log cabin. And just the use of color to emit the light, you know, is just gorgeous. It reminds me of Windberg, and I think kudos to the Stampin' Up! Artists. So anyway, love those. So let's get started, shall we? Move this out of the way. And we are going to start with boho blue, 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 4 6 3/4. Hey, Kathy. All right, let me move this down so you can see it. And we're going to score at 4 6 3/4. Okay, super simple. So tonight, what I'd like to show you is how I use I'm confusing myself here, back, front, like that. So it makes like a Z fold, okay? Use your bone folder to get a good crease. Okay, so now this is going to be our front, and I want to use one of those scenic papers and make it like a continuous scene. Oh, great, Carol. So let's look at the designer paper we're going to use. This is the 6x6 piece that I've chosen, and I need it 4 inches tall and 3 3/4 inches wide. Okay, so let's take a look at this and decide how we're going to do it. So I definitely wanted the little fence, even though you don't see it too much, but it's there, okay, in the background. And then I wanted, this tree. And so I decided I'm just going to go ahead and cut it at 3 3/4 this way and 4 this way. Okay, so that's what I need. 3 3/4 and then 4 inches tall. So let me get my paper trimmer and move this where I can see it. So 3 3/4 inches wide. You know what? I think I'm going to cut off the bottom first. 4 inches. Like that, I will have this big strip to use on another project. Okay. So let's move the scoring blade out of the way and then come up with a cutting blade. We'll save this for another project. And now we need it 3 3/4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this, and I did give some thought to this, and I know I'm going to be chopping this tree right in half, but just hold on, okay? There's that. That's for the front. And then I need a 1 1/4 inch wide piece to go on the side. So let's do that. Line it up with 1 1/4, and bam. Okay, and there's another piece we can save for another project. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put this piece on the front, and then look what happens when I put this one right here. Oh, it's the continuous. Okay, hang with me if you've lost me. I've seen that it's frozen, but I'm hoping it comes back. Okay. All right. Okay. It looks like it's okay now. All right. So here we go. We're going to glue that down. So is it okay for everybody? I seem to be dragging a little bit. It must be the internet connection or something. Kathy, can you let me know, Carol, what it's doing for you? Is it okay? All right, so now I'm going to put this over here, and then we're going to have the scene, even though it's split, it's a continuous scene, okay? So right there, okay, isn't that cool? And then it's going to open up like that, all right? So let's go ahead and do the inside. I have a 2.5 by 4 piece of basic white cardstock. Thanks, Kathy. And then I'm going to pull out my foam mat scrap paper, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment, which for the inside, I'm going to put, "And a Happy New Year." Thanks, Patty. I don't know what was going on. It's like my screen went black for a minute, so I know it probably did something wonky for y'all. All right. So we're going to put this right up here at the top to give you plenty of room to write your message or sign your name. And then let's go ahead and put that on the inside. Now, on this, I don't want this white to show when the card is closed, okay? So normally I would center it top to bottom and side to side, but I don't want the white to close. So I'm going to make sure, even if I need to move it over just a little bit closer to this fold, I'll do that just so that I'll have that continuous blue right through there, okay? So let's do that. And put that on. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're new to us, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. And I got some blue ink there, but we're going to go with it. And if you're enjoying it, please click the like button and share it with your crafting friends that you think might enjoy it. Okay? All right, so there's the card base. Now we're going to work on the sleigh. Okay, you ready? Let's move this just to the side where I'm not going to lose it. And I'm going to put my other card in front of me for reference. And so next, I'm going to just stamp on a piece of basic white. 2 3/4 inches wide is what, or tall, is big enough. And then this is 6 inches because it was a scrap that I had in my drawer, okay? But you can use 5 3/4, which you're going to be able to see. You just want enough room to stamp this and to put the die around it to die cut it, okay? So let me turn this way, and I think I can move this. And so we're going to color with our Stampin' Blends alcohol-based markers. And so what do I need to stamp with? Memento black ink, right? Because we want that color fast and we don't want it to smear. Now, when I have a large image like this, I like to take my stamp pad and ink it up like this. You just get better, it's easier. You can see exactly if you're getting good coverage, okay? And I'm going to look and check. Then I'm going to turn it and stamp right in the middle. Give it a good press and pull straight up. Oh, isn't that awesome? Love it. I love it. So I'm going to grab a chair and have a seat while I color. So I was going to have this all ready, and I thought, no, I'm going to show them how I color it. So on this one, I'm going to make the sleigh red. So I'm going to start with my light, real red, and I'm just going to fill in. Now, I will say that when you're coloring with an alcohol marker, after you put the color down to the paper, it tends to spread out a little bit. So if I remember, I try to, oh, I'm doing the dark. I thought it was the light. It's okay. I try not to get too close to the edge. So since this is the dark marker, I'm going to just do some of the around the edges. Picked up the wrong one. Anyway, you know what I mean about it spreading out once you put it down. And, you know, I try to keep my colors from bleeding one into the other. And if it happens, it's okay. I mean, it's happened several times to me on each project I do, and it's really okay. Okay, so I'm going to go around like this. I usually like to start with my light color first, but I picked up the wrong one. So now I'm going to kind of color in here and fill in with the light. And so that I don't have like a harsh line there, I'm going to just color circular, and it kind of pulls in that line. And you know that you don't really get the actual look until it dries. It takes a little bit to dry, and it always dries like a little differently than you think it's going to look. It lightens up some. So now I'm going to go back in with the dark, and I'm going to go right underneath that little scroll, that line, okay? And then maybe a little bit down here. So you can always, everyone has their own method of coloring with alcohol markers. And I'm just curious, if you color with alcohol markers, do you start with the light color or the dark color first? Just put it in the comments. I'm just curious. Okay, so now I'm going to color the people. Now, these two little things right here, I'm not sure what they are. I'm guessing they're snowshoes or something like that. Like I said, I've never been in a sleigh. So, but I'm thinking there might be snowshoes. So what I did is I got crumb cake, and I'm going to use the bullet tip. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that, on this being snowshoes. I have no idea what it is. I'm just saying it's snowshoes. All right, and then I'm going to fill in with the light. Okay. All right. Now let's, what do I want to do next? I'm going to do my guy here. So I chose to do him in boho blue. And so I'm taking my light, okay, and I'm just going to do like this part of his coat and his sleeve and come down. And this is the other side of it. Okay. And I'm assuming the rest of it is her. And I did this the first time too. This is the inside of the sleigh right there. Okay, so I'm going to go back with my red. And color this in. And then I'm going to get my dark and put a little bit in there too. Right up against her. And then on those little lines. Okay. So my lady, oh, let me finish the guy. I'm doing his little shawl collar in dark boho blue, just to keep it simple because it's such a small area. It's sometimes hard to do shading, so I just make it easy on myself. And then his hat, because it looks like a Santa hat, it's got to be a Santa hat, right? So I'm gonna color it red, and I just leave the ball, and then right here his fur white. I don't color it at all. An idea would be to maybe use your Wink of Stella and make it sparkly. Okay, so now the lady I'm going to do in Pool Party. So I'm going to use dark Pool Party on her little hat, and then on her shawl collar, and then this little piece right here is part of her scarf, I think. And then this little piece too. And this is her little muff, her little fur, to put her hands in. And I'm going to get the light now and fill in this bottom. And I'm just going to leave her little hand warmer thingy white, like it's white fur. Now, all of my skin tone blends must be in Texas, is all I can say, because I can't find them anywhere. But I found this petal pink, which will do for a skin tone. And if I wanted to, I could probably make it a little darker. with just a tad. And I'm going to try this on this one with crumb cake. So I'm just kind of dotting in here for the skin. Oh, I got outside her. It's okay. All right, so now they're done. And now let's work on the horse. So on this one, and on Saturday, you'll see a different way I colored it. So be sure and tune in so you can see what I did. It's a kind of a neat and easy technique. I'm taking dark crumb cake and doing like the long hair. And I guess this, could be a Clydesdale, but with the white, but I decided to color them. So this is the dark. I'm doing like in the underneath areas. Up here, the tail. And then his mane. And I'm going to do his ears even. Okay, and right through here. Okay. Now, before I color the rest of him, I'm going to take my dark pebbled pad and do his harness and bridle. Is it the bridle? The bit? Harness? What's it called? I should have looked it up. There we go. Does anyone ride horses that's watching? I'm kind of a scaredy cat. I don't think I would like it, but I love watching people ride. Okay, then I'm going to do his little hooves in pebbled path as well. Get that one back there. Okay. Now let's take the light crumb cake and finish coloring him. And so I'm just going to blend all this in. Now I didn't do the harness and the reins through him here with pebbled path because I didn't want it blending into the color. Looks like I might need a new crumb cake marker. You know how you can tell when it's getting a little dry? It's like you have to press a little harder. Okay, let me. Okay. One down and we're almost finished. So normally I have all this done, but I had so much fun coloring this and I wanted to point out just certain things because I had to study them a little bit to see, okay, what's what on here because it's so close together. But I love it. Okay, now he's a little too monotone for me. So I am going to take some of my light pecan pie and add some color to him. So he's not so, all one color. Just to give him a little interest and fun. Yeah, I like that much better. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. Okay, let me move all my markers out of the way, and I'm going to get my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, thank you, Patty. Yeah, Nan, I love to color too. It is so relaxing. I love it. There was one stamp set we had, oh, it must have been 2 years ago in the holiday catalog with the lady that looked like June Cleaver. You know what I'm talking about, with her dress and her apron. I loved coloring that. Do y'all remember that? I can't even remember what it was called. I probably still have the stamp set because it's hard for me to get rid of my Christmas and holiday stamps. But I mean, I usually like to give my retired stamp sets as prizes and gifts. But that one, oh, I loved her. In fact, there were several of her, several different ladies. Do y'all remember that stamp set? I loved coloring that. It's still one of my very favorite. And of course, I always loved coloring Santa. Okay, so I have a piece of Post-it tape that I've used about 500 times. Not really. I've used it several times and it still works. I ordered it off of Amazon. Okay, so now let's roll this baby through. So when you're using the mini, if your dies are narrow, which a lot of our die sets, you can use just the mini to die cut, and your paper is like 3¼ inches wide, doesn't have to be any wider than that. Sometimes you can go 3½, but it's a tight squeeze. You can use this, and in the catalog, it will usually say, I think it always says when it will fit the mini machine. So a lot of my dies fit the mini machine. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that like that so I don't lose it. So now I want to show you something else. When I cut that out, you see all that white? I don't like that. So, because look, it's gonna like kind of look funky there, So this is what I do. I look and see what color can I use to fill that in. And of course, it's boho blue. So I take my marker, the light, make sure I've got the light. Yep, here's the dark. And I'm coloring in all of these white areas so that it will just blend into the background, okay? A lot of times when I do this on other images that may have like the shadow around it, the white, I'll use light pool party or light smoky slate. And it just gives it a grounded feel, if that makes any sense at all. And this just, you'll see the difference. I mean, it'll just blend right into the background. So I'm trying not to get on the horse, on his hooves, and I got on the inside. It's okay. It's all right. And I'm coloring in between, trying not to drag the other color in there with it. But I don't want any of that white. And it's really too intricate to fussy cut that white off. And that kind of defeats the purpose of the die cutting machine, right? You want to be quick and easy with it. But this, to me, is easy to do. It's another chance to color some more. And I'm just going around everything. Got to be careful when I get around their faces. So I'm going to do this I got on his little ball. Careful. So I try not to get right up next to her face so the blue doesn't bleed into her face. Thanks, Nan. Yeah, this just works for me. It takes a little extra time, but I think it's worth it. So, the back of this, when you use alcohol markers, it bleeds through. It's supposed to. That's how you know you're getting good coverage. And, I've always heard that it's going to bleed through the backside. So I have a little remedy for that too. That was super easy to do so that doesn't show. So you see how much better that looks? I mean, I think it does. Okay. So what I did is I cut another one of these silhouettes. Okay, it was about 2 3/4 by 6 again of the boho blue, and I'm going to glue this over top so that when we glue it on our card, it's cardstock on the back and not this. Okay. All right. So let me get my glue and put some on. Try to be sparing. Put it on sparingly. So, have y'all watched any good movies lately? We watched last night, I think it was on Netflix. No, it wasn't last night, not before last. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Has anybody seen that? It is so cute. I loved it. Oh, thank you, Nan. Okay, now let's do this. All right, there we go. And you know what? It gives the horse a little bit more stability too, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is a little bit. So I already die cut these accents for the sleigh. Oops, that kind of got twisted. There are dies for each of these, okay? And yeah, I could have used the sticky back stuff, adhesive sheets. It's cut from this silver. Remember this silver? It's the silver foil specialty. I believe it's in the online excuses. Online exclusives. And yeah, and so there's a flat silver, there's a shiny silver, and then there's this one that's textured and it's almost got a bluish purplish tint to it. See that? So that's what I decided to use to cut this out. So this guy is going to go right there. Now, isn't that fancy? Let's put that on. Online excuses. I can't believe I said that. Yeah, it's my online excuse for buying more stamps. The online excuses section. Okay. Hey, Catherine, how are you? I hadn't seen you on here in a while. Thanks for tuning in. Kathy, why did you say Astros? Does something look like Astros to you? Okay, so now, there we go. So now, it took me a hot minute to find out where this thing went. So I kept trying to put it over this little line. Oh, you watched the Astros. Okay, yeah. We watched after the Astros. All right, so this goes, wait a minute, Lisa. Let me get it right. See, this is what I had to do. It fits just perfectly on this top edge of the sleigh, okay? So let's put a little glue here. And is that right? Oh my goodness, Lisa, did I turn it upside down? Yeah. I mean, it fits just right. Oh, I think I did it backwards. But you know what? I'm not gonna switch it. You see how this one is? That's how it's supposed to look. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, there we go. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so this fits better than that, but I am not going to pull that up. We're going to make it a different kind of little accent to our sleigh, okay? But it does fit exactly right on the top of that sleigh. See how it sparkles? Okay, so now let's put this on. So here we go. Here's our scene, our snowy scene. The little gate shows through there, and the horse should extend over the fold, okay? But so you don't want any glue behind that. You want it to show like it's like the continuous scene, okay? So I know to go up about to right there where that bump is. So I'm going to put my finger there so I don't put any extra glue, and put some glue on this cardstock that we glued on the back. Okay, so now here we go. Okay, pretty close to the bottom. Come a little bit. There we go. And so let's hold that a minute. Okay. All right, looking pretty good, right? You know, if you wanted to, you could put designer paper here, but I decided not to cut into another 6x6 piece just to put it there. Look, I even tried this. I put a piece of that half piece there. I mean, it's okay, but kind of looks funky, but I don't think it has to have anything there. You could put another piece of white if you wanted more room to write. You could even put a gift card right there. Put a little bit of adhesive on the back and stick it in, okay? So next we need our sentiment. So I'm gonna move that card aside, let it dry. And I have a 1 by 6-inch strip of boho blue again. But this time I'm gonna stamp on it with Misty Moonlight, just like I did for the sentiment on the inside. Okay, let's see. Let's ink this up. It says, wishing you a season of cheer, and then the inside says, and a happy new year. So I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. So I'm stamping on boho blue in Misty Moonlight, okay? Let me put this up so I don't have an accident there. And get my scissors, and let's, I'm going to cut it about 3/4 of an inch away from the sentiment, maybe a 1/2 inch. I don't want to get too far. And you could leave it like that, but I decided to banner cut. So I'm going up the center and then going from the corner to the top of that cut. And then again from this side. And you may have a punch that does this. I don't. It's just easy to cut it like this. Okay. So we have that. And then, oh, that's finished, Lisa. Okay. Let's move this one in. And that's going to go right there. And so I want this white to show and some of the Misty Moonlight on the top there. So I'm going to kind of split it where I'm not covering too much of the scene. Another way you could do this is how I like to do sentiments a lot, and just this fussy cut around it. Okay. So whatever you want to do here. I like this for the embellishments I'm going to use. So these are the adhesive backed snowflake assortment that are part of this suite as well in the online exclusive, not the online excuses. And I still think that would be good to say, oh, it was, honey, I had to get it. It was in the online excuse. Okay, I'm being silly. All right, let's put a snowflake here, and then one here, and then a little one here. So I'm using white because I think that fits best. Okay. So there is our card. What you think? So I know some of you might have this stamp set. Does anybody have it? Has anybody worked with it? I've been having so much fun with it. And really, if you have not read my One Horse Open Sleigh story on the blog or on Facebook, you need to go read it. So, okay, so reminder, next week, thank you so much. Next week, no live on Thursday because Jackie and I will be in Las Vegas at the Stampin' Up! Leadership Conference. It's called Backstage, and we're so excited. And then remember to, thank you, Dan. Remember to, if you're not part of my mailing list, you need to go sign up. Okay, you can either go to my blog at inkandinspirations.com or click on that link that's up there on the screen now, because I'm going to be having a special little promotion while we're out of town, and I don't want you to miss that. And if you're on my mailing list, you get the first notice of that. Okay. So don't forget to do that if you are not signed up. Thank you, Cindy. So, anyway, okay, let's say that you're going to watch on Saturday morning for that fun 3D project using the one horse open sleigh again. And the horse is colored differently. I want you to see that because it's a super easy technique and it gives you a different look every time. I think you will love it. Okay. So if you don't have a color lifter, those are this white one from Stampin' Up. You need to get one. Okay. Because you're going to want it. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Visit my website at inkinspirations.com for more ideas. And until next time, make a card, send that card, and make a difference. Y'all have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.